and welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast, where we explore how technology, AI, and cybersecurity are reshaping the way we work. This segment of our tour, we are back at it again, live in London, interviewing top IT leaders. Each episode, we're going to bring you insights from real leaders and industry experts on how organizations can navigate today's challenges and unlock tomorrow's opportunities. From making sense of complex data, to simplifying IT environments, to delivering real business outcomes, Lenovo is helping businesses of every size reimagine what's possible. Join us as we dive into the future of work. Work Reborn. Let's go. Hello, welcome to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast live in London. My name is Rita, and today I'm joined here with David. Thank you for joining me, David.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about your company and what you do?
Yeah, I work for Tata Steel Nederland. So it is a steel maker. It's an Indian company, and we make steel. And yeah, some steels are very specific and special that I heard that only we can make. So yeah, we're proud of that, and we try to do better, which is to make a green steel, because environment is very important for everyone.
Right.
So our goal is to make steel, green steel,
Green
very
steel.
soon.
Wow.
Yes.
And what is your role or capacity within the organization?
My role is security and a network architect
Okay.
for Tata Steel Nederland. That's Dutch.
Yeah.
So like Tata Steel Netherlands. And we have around 40 companies in about 10 countries in Europe and 2 companies in the United States. So I do the roadmap, high-level design review, and architecture for 2 domains.
Wow. So
Network-
very technologically involved.
Yeah, networking and security, these 2 domains, yes.
Fantastic. Well, you're a fantastic guest then to have on. We actually interviewed
you.
over 600 senior IT leaders about things like IT, cybersecurity, and AI. And it seems like you've pulled a couple of fun facts from our report that we're going to have a chat about today.
Yeah.
So let's get started with the first fact. According to the Lenovo Work Reborn report, more than half of respondents feel very confident in their endpoint security capabilities, which is great progress. However, areas like detection and identity management show room for further strengthening. From your perspective, where do you see the most opportunity to advance capabilities in the security landscape?
Well,
That's a long question, so
yeah.
thanks for bearing with me on that.
Thank you. Security landscape is big.
Yeah.
And endpoint security is one of them. And it's good that many companies feel good about endpoint security. And you're right, in access management and detection, there are also in endpoint protection, there are rooms to improve. But sure, in detection and identity management, it's definitely important. So from a detection point perspective, I think there are room in network detection because, basically all people, all device use network.
Right.
Without network, there's no IT, there's no communication.
Maybe even no business.
Yeah, there's nothing because you have to be networked. So
Right.
good people, good information, bad people, bad information all go through network. So it's important to enhance security and to do detection from network side or network platform. And there are challenges though, because currently the platform is built by many different vendors, and especially large companies. They use infrastructure from different companies. So to integrate, it's a challenge. But and also nowadays, I think around 80% of data on the network is encrypted. So most of the time, it's difficult to find out what's information inside. So you can decrypt it, but it also costs...
Is there security concern with that?
You mean
When you encrypt?
Decrypt?
It? Yes.
Yeah, leaking of information, and
Yeah.
also when you decrypt it, some people might see it, and might be the people that you don't want them to see.
Right.
So it's a fine line to put where to do the decryption. But I mean, so the place to improve is basically to ensure information is secure, but also, bad information or bad guys are caught. And I understand many of the vendors are working on that. Like Cisco, they even are able to do malicious malware, those kind of detection
Yes.
without decryption. So
Right.
that's great. So I think this is a good direction to go. But then again, I'm not sure if all malicious activities and data or malware can actually be
Yeah.
detected.
It's an uncharted landscape, right? So
Yes.
there's going to be a lot of innovation and, uncharted waters when it comes to cyber criminal
Yeah.
activity. But I do think Lenovo also has an offering where we are, because you mentioned Cisco, we also have something where our AI is able to predict or, see in advance where activity might be happening as well too. So I think everyone in the industry,
On network level,
yeah, I don't know about the network level, but we'll have that more information in the report for
Yeah,
if you
sure.
want to look into that. But in general, we're all in the industry trying to find
Yeah.
ways to get ahead of the curve. Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing you also mentioned about the access management. Yeah, that's also very important because it's important to really apply the least privilege principle. So you're only supposed to do what you can do, what you're allowed to. So everybody get the least access right. But from a technical perspective, it's quite a simple concept. But in organization, it's actually from IT perspective, we're lacking of knowledge from business because we have the tools. And if business asks us to do whatever we can, because we have technology, we have vendors, we have support, we can do it. But the problem now is business cannot really tell who is supposed to do what in which department, or sometimes the job changes. And that's the issue because you have all fancy, nice tools laying in network. You have
But
bought
who's in
licenses.
charge of it? What's
Yeah,
the
but
process?
exactly
Who's
who
going
can
to
access
implement
what?
it?
Yeah. So that's the key. That's really the big loophole. So and it's not something technology can fix. It's the business need to know. The HR need to know.
Yeah.
You have this role. What can you do? What can you not do? And this information have to be clear. Without the clarification, IT really cannot help you.
Right.
Because IT does not know which role should have access to what.
Right.
So that's the challenge. That's the improvement all business can do.
And I think everyone needs to be working towards that for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let's go on to our next
Yeah.
fun fact question. It's interesting that we've been talking about this because we actually found that more advanced organizations were more likely to report challenges within these complex systems, but not so much different, like maybe smaller organizations. So why do you think that is?
I think it's like airlines. If there is a regional airline and they fly limited locations nearby each other, and they probably only running one type of fleet. So it's not easy, but it's straightforward to manage because for spare part, they only need to have spare part for one type of airplanes. They only need to run one team of technical people, and they have small number of airports to run, right? But when you have a global airline, right? When you have 5, 10, 20 types of airplanes, you're flying to many different locations. You need to have pilots who can fly different airplanes. You
Right.
have technical people. So that's just similar to other companies. When you become bigger, you go to cloud, and sometimes not just one cloud, you go to multi-cloud, and then multi-cloud also need to work together, and you have different applications.
There's
They
a
have
lot
to
going
be
on.
integrated, and people start working from home, people start working from Starbucks, and then data is no longer like in the past contained in your on-prem. Data is sometimes in the cloud, sometimes on the endpoint that traveling with your employees. And then all those new ways of working actually introduce attack surfaces and also introduce, unfortunately, some challenges. So that's why, in short, bigger companies, with complex system, because that's required, with different vendors, different customers operating in different countries, especially, different countries have different laws,
Right.
and you have to abide by the laws of that country. So, for example, in Finland, internet is a part in their law is a part of a human right. So when you have
Internet is a human right in
a
Finland?
part, So
I know that.
when you have a multinational company, you can have one policy to say, okay, without authentication, you are not allowed to access internet. But your daughter company in Finland have to be special because that's not allowed in Finland because everybody have to have the right to access the internet. It's a part of your human right. So that's why there are
There are complexities not
things.
only due to the size of the organization, but also local and
Definitely,
regional
because some
governance.
countries
Okay.
do not allow data to be transported in the encrypted format,
Okay.
and that's their law. And you can say nothing about that because every country has sovereignty to do things.
To do what they need to do.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, this has been a fascinating conversation. I really appreciate your insight and the time that you've taken
Thank you.
today. For anyone who is listening, if you're interested in learning more about the Work Reborn report, please make sure to check out our newest release. The QR code is on the screen or the link is in the description below. David, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Lenovo Work Reborn podcast. To learn more about how Lenovo is helping organizations transform with AI, cybersecurity, and smarter IT solutions, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation. And also, we'd love to hear from you. Make sure to leave a comment with any other questions that you would like us to discuss on our next episodes. See you next time. Lenovo.